Good morning. I did just need to do that unmute. And it's a weird thing. I am trying to monitor on the Be Live. I'm doing Be Live. I'm trying to monitor on Facebook. This morning's show is going via Be Live into mytimetv.live page, which you should be seeing now, and the Boundy YouTube channel. That's the direct sources that I'm feeding it into. The others that are cross-posted, I hope, are to my Boundy page and the Boundy Psychic Medium card reading group, maybe. I don't know if it got there. I think that was the issue I had with Be Live before. Good morning to you, Tracy. We have Diane here already. Good morning. And what I'll do is get pretty much straight into the card reading for this morning. What we have is the general reading for everyone, not individual card pulls, which there is still some people that aren't aware that's what this is for, is a general card reading that you are going to be tapping into using your intuition and psychic abilities. Good morning, Kathy. And getting the practice every morning to actually tune in to sussing out for yourself what those messages are that you're receiving, not just what I'm saying because I'm doing this show type of thing. So we're going to switch them around and we'll get into the actual card reading. I am going to leave that little sticky note up the top this morning, well, at least for a little bit longer. What we've got, these are the cards that I'm using, and as you can see, it is the expanded deck. Oh, now you can't see the writing, the gold colours, the brown on the gold. Interesting, isn't it? But anyway, that's the card deck that I use. And that's there. I'll just put it over there so that if you want to keep referring to it, you can. Right, what we've got is, good morning, Karen. How are you? Lovely to see you here. So just as a reminder before I get into the actual card reading, if you're on the Boundy page, you'll need to go over to this My Time TV. Oh, there. You'll need to go over to the mytimetv.live page so I can see your comments and bring them up on screen. Okay. Now, and I've just got a spot on my screen there that I must have splashed a little bit of my coffee. Whoops. Oh, good morning, Sarah. How are you? Oh, I just love those emojis. They look so nice when they're big on the screen. We've got, this is the card spread. This one here is the workspace, number one position. So we've got the dice in the number one of work. Moon, number 32, is in the second position of home. We have 17, the stork, up in the unexpected position. We've got 37, time, in the your role position, and we've got 14, the fox, in the outcome. Okay, so a lovely set of cards again, not until the fox, but anyway, we'll see what that means for us in a sec. Dice really is that throw of the dice. So it's almost in the workspace. It almost is, look at for today, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, a lot of different choices, because how many do we have on a set of dice? It's the 6 by whatever the exponential, with the combinations, blah, blah, blah. What's that called? Probabilities. Anyway, it is, look, take your pick of what you're wanting to actually work through today. There might be a bit of a mishmash and maybe a potluck or a bit of a gamble around what you're taking on today. Don't treat it like a gambling. Just do what you need to and focus on that. Then step to the next one and focus on that. It could mean that what we're doing is from one step to another, it almost feels like you're throwing the dice in the air to see what's the next step. Possibly that you haven't planned it well enough, that you're doing it in a smooth fashion. And it could be that this is actually a suggestion to write it down and plan things so that you've actually got them in a sequence that is logical, that is from one flow to the next, that it makes it a lot easier for your workday. So that's what I'm feeling around the dice, or die if you're doing correct grammatical. At least I think that's what it meant. What's the correct way of doing that? So do be conscious of that it's not just, ad hoc all over the place and chaotic. I would think concentrate, focus on that one thing at a time, even if it does seem out of a sequence. At least get one finished before you throw that dice in the air again. Okay, that's what I'm feeling for that one. With our moon in our home space, I really like having this here because it's a more nurturing factor of bringing out what is, I suppose, the closer relationships that we do actually have in our home space. We do have, potentially it is our family that we're living with. Even if we're by ourselves, it's that inner relationship that we have with that self, and bringing forward what is needing to be. Look, I don't like saying dealt with, because we're living a life. It's not like we're dealing with it. We are actually living our lives, and it needs to have that essence of um, nurture as well, because I feel that the light of the moon is more nurturing. It has that more feminine energy and feel around it. So we need to be gentle with ourselves as well, so that we're bringing it forward to be acknowledged and loved. And if there's problems, sort them out. And if there's other issues with relationships, inner as well as the outer, that it's going to have that wonderful light shining on it, so that it's bringing like a glow, I suppose, because I love the glow of the moonbeam. That feeling when I was a kid, you see the dust, the moonbeams coming in the window, and how amazing it was, how they sparkled and shined as they kept coming through. I'd sit there for ages watching moonbeams in the window when I was younger. And I think it needs that sort of an essence of childlikeness and gentleness and femininity, that nurturing, mothering type of a feel around it, and bringing that into our morning, our day, as far as on that personal home front level. And it's, good morning. Yes, lovely to see you here, Fiona. Up the top, we have the stork in the unexpected position. So I know we've had that there before already through this last week, that it's, taking the opportunity when there's that little bit extra that we can put in our nest, to do the rearrangement of what needs to be tweaked. I'm feeling it's, the unexpected moments where we're going to be able to tweak what we're doing. Unfortunately, the light still, I haven't quite got it right. I have got a frame at the bottom half of my window to stop the full glare. It's still not quite right, is it? One day it'll happen. So in that stalk, it is little moments of change that's going to pop up in our day. So be aware of that. And I think really just have that. Love those hearts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And it's a little bit chilly at your end this morning. It's a bit better than what it was yesterday here, though. We did have a hot day. So be ready for the little moments that give the opportunity for change, having things rearranged and picking up those little bits of, resources or whatever that are needed. Resources? Materials, that type of thing that you're needing for something. And that could be for one of these types of projects that you're doing today, and as you're moving along. Good morning, Holly. How are you? And here we have the time in our role. So that really is a lot more about using our time wisely, about being aware of how it does pass. I mean, yesterday passed so quickly. I had a lot of rest time because I felt like it, and it just flies past. Yes, it is the day again. It's lovely to see it, Fiona. See, I do like seeing them. I like this one, the time, the clocks. I just love the artwork in this one, and the many, many different ways that we actually keep track of what our time is. And even though, there's nothing that we can do to stop time, it still will progress. So what we're needing to be doing is having that better awareness, I suppose, of what is happening in our day-to-day, of what's going to be happening in our day-to-day, whether we've planned it or not, or not. The dice there does look like we haven't planned much in our workday yet. So you might get to work and think, oh, now I better sit down and actually plan it. Even if it is throw the dice in the air and write down what, yeah, anyway, we've already discussed that one. So actually have that awareness of what's happening with our time through the day, so that it's not just something that flies past. And there's several instances in this card where there is a bird there of some form. We've got a rooster there. There is just try and see what's there. There's the owl that is there. There's I'm not sure what that one is. It's some type of a bird of prey, I'm thinking. Even though, yeah, not sure. And I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's also a cuckoo in that one as well, in the clock itself. You know how cuckoo clocks work. Anyway, so just have that awareness around your day with what time you're spending doing what, or even as you need to be keeping an eye on the time to go to an appointment even. So it's just having that awareness, I think. What we've got now in that outcome, it's fox. We've had the fox around a few times throughout the last couple of weeks, actually, as to what it's meaning there in the outcome for today. So just looking at that, Fiona, some days you lose time and day. Oh, yeah, well, I certainly do too. As far as the day, what day are we? It is Monday, the 16th of November. I just mentioned that just to remind myself. I should actually use that as the opening phrase for the live shows here. I might remember to do that. Yes, unfortunately, there has been a small outbreak of the corona in Adelaide. Can't be too careful. Need to be more careful. Had good record. But anyway, this is where the I like that, yes. Time does fly when you're having fun. That is a very good one considering the birds that are actually in this card. That's so right. And as we're moving into having the fox in our presence again in that outcome card, look, I think it's, as far as the outcome goes, there's something that we have been planning, that we might be planning today, that as an outcome that we might need to actually, excuse me, head off and go and rethink it. Because we're not, it could be that it's feeling to me that something isn't as successful as we wished it to be today. But it's not for the trying. Foxes will try and try again. And I think that's what, as far as the outcome message for today is, that it still means go back and try again. Have that, determination, I suppose, to rework your plan. Now, remember too that the fox is, as far as it's always been seen as a creature that is wily, sneaky, underhanded, manipulative. They're clever. They actually do work out sometimes how to get into the chook pen really sneakily, as much as you try and guard against it, that type of idea. And that in the metaphoric sense, metaphysical, whichever word it is, to actually, it's got a more negative connotation, but I just don't see that. I don't feel that. I think it's just a different way of working out how to get to the goal. For a fox, yes, the chickens in that coop are din-dins or brekkie or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes it's just plain fun because they don't always eat what they catch. And that's the sad factor of seeing many chooks get done by foxes. Had that experience over time. I know what they can be like. But they're just creatures who are trying to survive themselves, as with their families. So in this, it's the persistence. It's go back, try again. So by the end of the day, let's see what we actually have as an outcome. It could be that you might have been trying to manipulate things and that's the pure reason why it hasn't worked, because there's been too much of your handiwork that's not been fully planned, or someone else around you in your situation today that's done that, and it's not created a successful outcome. Just let's see what it does, and it just opens up learning opportunities, doesn't it? So there you go. Now, I'm just going to catch up with what the comments are here. Keep trying no matter what, never giving up. Exactly, Fiona, it is that. And yeah, sure got into mine last night. Oh dear, did you have you had a fox get into your chicken coop, did you? Or metaphor, my words not getting, my mouth's not getting around that metaphoric or, oh, anyway, you know what I mean. So that's the spread today. So hopefully that's going to give you some form of guidance for your day and enjoyment of interpreting them as well and receiving your messages as you work through your day, or pure pleasure day. You might be someone who has the day off and can go and enjoy in whatever way you want to. Oh, no, got your chooks. Yep, I know the sadness and utter disappointment and anger and frustration around trying to make chook pens and runs fox proof. Having been brought up on a farm when I was younger, and even our own little farmlets and stuff, yes, I do understand. And thank you, Fiona. So, yes, blessings to you, Karen, that you find a solution. Could purely be that absolute message for you in having fox there as the outcome. You'll get it. You'll get it so you don't have it coming into the chook pen. It'll have to go away and find its own food elsewhere, not your chooks. Oh, that is sad, isn't it? Ah, dear. So anyway, look, keep being the best that you can be, learning from every single experience that you have in each and every day. Just keep growing and learning and growing and learning and taking notice, having that awareness, waking up to what's going on around you, and also what's happening on your inner being that you are waking up to, being able to tap into more and more your senses, your full senses, the psychic abilities inclusive, your intuition, your gut feeling, whatever you want to name it. Tap into it and trust those feelings and that connection. Okay, thank you very much for being here. Disappointing, upset, foxproof again. Yeah, it is exactly that. It's the persistence. I think that's probably some of that. It definitely is that message for you this morning. You will get there because the fox has turned away. You'll make it fox-proof so that it's absolutely not going to happen again. It is, isn't it? The colours behind me. I like that little, whoop, there, that one, cute. I thought it wasn't going to turn on to start with. But anyway, I better leave you with it for you to move into your day and me into mine. Blessings and namaste.